Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Earthlings on planet Earth, wherever you may be at the moment. I knew that I probably wouldn't use the defamation one for the opening. There's just so much to go into this video because it's been going on for months, apparently years for some people. I've sort of come in on the back end of this. Firstly, again, there have been a few videos where I've had to warn this may be my last video and my channel may well be taken down because of the very nature of this video. I have a few bones to pick with YouTube about their decision-making process and just basically about the way they go about things. So they may well take this one down and take my channel down. And if they do, then you will see me occasionally on Graham's channel or my son's or my daughter's. So, but let's wait and see what happens. In a way, this video is actually designed for YouTube to come and take a look at. And I have no doubt that the trolls themselves will not be able to contain themselves from bringing it to Christopher Boozy's attention, bringing it to YouTube's attention, and all good, I hope they do. Because if this has been brought to the attention of YouTube by the trolls, and they've done all the work for me, then YouTube will sit down and watch this video and hopefully listen to what I'm saying and see the ludicrous situation where trolls are allowed to have YouTube channels of pure, utter, undiluted hatred, online bullying of not only me, Graham and our two children, but also other YouTubers such as Trevor Coult, According to Taz, Megan's Mole, Sue Smith, Duchess of Naas Sussex, to name but a few. You only have to go and look at the murky side of Megxit. It has been created purely for the basis of hatred. It has been created, it is full of slander, full of defamation, left, right and centre. They spew utter crap about all of those YouTubers. In fact, one of the YouTubers in particular, and I have screen recorded every single one of their videos, and I've done it with the transcript as well, because in the case of one YouTuber, and when you get to my part about the qualifications to sue someone for defamation, I believe that one of the lady YouTubers has an exceptionally strong case to sue not only the owner of that channel, but potentially Google themselves for defamation for allowing the channel to remain. Because with one of the YouTubers, they actually use her real name. They have identified her. They have said statements that I believe are 100% untrue. Only she would know. She has already said they're 100% untrue. But if they are 100% untrue, then she has a strong case, a very strong case, and could sue YouTube. So, and I've kept that, and I guess she knows who she is, so she'd probably choose not to, because on the damage front, I'm not sure how she would go by proving damage, because she is a phenomenally successful YouTuber. In fact, she's gone from strength to strength, basically by behaving like Queen Elizabeth II and not lowering herself. Unlike me, I'm quite happy to go down there with them. So that's the essence of this video. And it's going to be broken into parts, which some will be screen records, some will be like PowerPoint presentations with my TV where I can demonstrate certain things. I am going to review the murky side of Megxit. That is a large part of this video. You'll see another part where I have actually complained to YouTube and they said it is fair use and fair dealing. That's what they say it falls under, so that the troll, the hate account, murky side of Megxit, is allowed to steal my intellectual property, put it into videos in order to bully, harass, slander, defame, and attack, right? According to YouTube, that's fine. So in the spirit of that, I will be using some of their content in order to review their video under the fair use and fair dealing. And I will also be providing screenshots and screen records of the emails that I received from YouTube saying that it's okay for a hate channel like that to exist. And yet they bizarrely made the decision to delete Yankee Wally's channel and her second channel when she was not doing anything of the sort. She was critiquing a public figure, a multi-millionaire-ess public figure. So that's the basis of this video. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to take all day to make it because there are bound to be things I forget, and because we are editing it, I will be able to put everything in it. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be on planet Earth. We're just trying to get the camera so it's not like really bright. I think that's a bit better. Otherwise it's a bit glary for you. So this is the first part. Well, I think I'll use this part first. I might not, in which case that statement won't make any sense at all. I think I will start with this one because firstly, trolls, I'm not going to dox anybody. I'm not going to name anybody. I wouldn't even do that to you. That is an out of order thing to do, to name someone. Right? I know who you are. This particular section is a lesson in defamation. Not that I'm an expert and I'm not a lawyer, and please don't anybody take what I say as legal advice. But it does bring me to another story. Now, we all have rights and we all have duties, legally speaking. We all have rights to certain freedoms, or we should do, but apparently we seem to have lost a few of them along the way. Thanks to people like Prince Harry, who just wants, apparently, free speech censored, which is very dictatorial. But we also have duties. Now, free speech comes with caveats. You cannot threaten somebody and say that's my free speech. You cannot harass or bully or hurt people and say that's my free speech. Now, sometimes free speech may hurt someone's feelings and it's not infringing on their rights, and you are fulfilling your duty towards fellow citizens. To simplify this, and not getting religious, but we can begin with the 10 Commandments. Those were like basic rules for people to follow. In the Bible, this is actually a Torah, this is a Hebrew Bible, it's back to front, but a friend of mine gave me that years ago, knowing about my interest in the Jewish people. Hence why you all know why I wear the necklace. It's a promise to God for a big favour that he did me years ago. And interestingly enough, Graham's mother, my mother-in-law, was a Noahide. She was enormously supportive of the Jewish people, and I don't know if any of you guys out there know what a Noahide is. It's a person who is not Jewish, who supports the Jewish people, and that's their faith. And I think they have like 7 commandments. I'm not sure. I think, and it goes back to Noah. Excuse me. So that my mother-in-law was really into that. Me, I don't go to church. I'm not Jewish. I believe everybody is entitled to their own personal belief system, and I never raise the subject, not with friends, not with anybody. It's none of my business what other people believe in, and there are many beliefs. For example, my daughter is a pagan. That is her belief. That is her right. Right, so we had the 10 Commandments. Apparently, the 10 Commandments weren't clear enough for quite a few people. So in my country, in England, we had an invasion, William the Conqueror, 1066. And when he took over, he said, "What is this lawless land? I think you're burning people saying they're witches and stuff like that. Whatever happened to the 10 Commandments?" So he created something that we had then and still have to this day called common law. And he got circuit judges to go and visit all the little hamlets and towns where they were burning witches, and they had their own customs and weirdness. And his circuit judges, that's where the name circuit judge comes from, because we still have circuit judges. I think they still have them today. I'm a little out of date on my law. So they went round. King William, the Conqueror, said to all his circuit judges, look, let's go off the 10 Commandments, okay? So no stealing, no murder. Can you check on all that? That will include burning witches and stuff like that. And then can you go out in your horse and carriage to all the little domains all throughout the kingdom that I've just conquered, and can you make that perfectly clear to them and hold court and pass sentence, etc., etc., until they learn to be a little bit more civilised. Now, common law is the strongest law in England and Wales. It is the strongest. If you murder somebody, that is contrary to common law. Acts of Parliament are there to complement and refine things even further, because apparently some people don't understand the difference between common decency and breaking the law. Right, and that can include officials in official capacity. Right, so then we have civil procedures. Now, if you are thinking of suing someone for defamation, firstly, the written or permanent false statement made is called libel. A verbal is called slander. They are both forms of defamation. Defamation is the general term for making shit up about people in front of other people and doing damage to that person. That's the essence of defamation, okay? In order to do that, you might want this. This is back to front again, but it is the civil procedure. Now, this is an incredibly expensive book. All my law books are very, very, very expensive. And I did have cause to sue somebody once, and that's how come I've got them. And yeah, it cost them dearly, cost them very, very dearly. But I won't go into that. That's not what this video is about. But having had that experience of taking someone to court for defamation, I have these legal books and I can only tell you what I know, okay? Now, the civil procedure, and I think this one is out of date, they bring out new ones all the time. In my opinion, this book is just common sense. It really is common sense. It's not something you'd read cover to cover. It's more of a reference, like what's going to happen in the eventuality of. And it's a really good book. And again, it's a bit like the Ten Commandments, William the Conqueror going, behave yourself and try being reasonable. And they have up-to-date versions. So I'm sure Black Belt Barrister could go into this in a lot more detail than me. Now, another book that I got, which was exceptionally helpful, and there are many, many, many books on defamation, but this was the particular one that I got, and this was phenomenally expensive. I think I had to buy these books second-hand, actually, and they were still pushing £100, so I won't be posting these to anybody. This one, again, unfortunately, is back to front. But any of you clever clogs out there that can read back to front, which I'm not very good at, this is called Defamation and Freedom of Speech. Okay, so this is a very, very, very interesting book. Now, in order to sue someone for defamation, they must have made a damaging and truly untruthful load of crap up about you, okay? Also, they have to have identified you. Now, if I were to say, I think Piglet is a dollop of shit, the Twitter troll, that's never going to be defamation. Who the hell is Piglet? How is Piglet identified? How is Piglet received damage? That's another rule. You must have been damaged in some way. Another qualification is it must have been repeated to a third party. I think things on the internet, you can take that as a given because somebody somewhere will have seen it. It only takes one person to have seen it, and that person must have thought badly of you as a result. You have to be able to prove that. Now, the people I sued, they made up all kinds of shit, and unfortunately for them, there was a tape recorder running. Oh, dearie, dearie me. They said I was a bar brawler. They said I was a thug. They said I was a cocaine dealer. And they said all this quite freely, thinking, haha, she was Britain's most wanted once, so that gives me a licence to just chat shit about her. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. For example, Graham went to prison years ago, as you all know, for attempting to smuggle 20 kilos of cannabis resin into the United Kingdom. He was sent to prison for that. But if someone were to go on the internet, for example, I don't know, and say Graham Hesketh is a murderer, that's defamation, because he is not. He has never been convicted of murder. He has never murdered anybody. So you can't think to yourself, and there's a whole section on this, and interestingly enough, I had a bookmark in it, and this is from years ago, and it's on the section of the difficulties of proving reputation. There's a whole section on that, because in order to sue for defamation, one has to have a reputation in the first place that needs protecting. But that's all part of proving the damage that the false statement made. Now, Piglet doesn't have a reputation. Piglet's a twat. That's Piglet's reputation. There's nothing to defend there. I know this all sounds ludicrous. It sounds particularly ludicrous to lawyers, but I'm using it as an exaggerated example. In fact, I'm using Piglet as a specimen in order to examine. I find it quite fascinating, actually, And I think that maybe if one or two other people, largely speaking, people on the internet these days behave themselves unless they've got serious mental disorders or they're seriously nasty pieces of work. I know Piglet does have mental disorders and probably belongs in a straitjacket. Anyway, so you have to identify the person. Now you can you don't necessarily have to say the name of the person. If you start saying very, very specific things about a person which would help third parties identify that person beyond reasonable doubt, then that too can be classed as defamation, but that's that's hard. It's much easier if the person says Joe Bloggs is a rapist, when Joe Bloggs is a vicar. Let's say a vicar with a load of parishioners, and they say that on the internet, or they say it in the newspapers, Joe Bloggs is a rapist, right? That's going to do him damage. His parishioners are going to think badly of him because of that. You have identified him and you have said something that is untrue, right? So, that's how defamation works. Or if you've written a letter, maybe someone would write a poison pen letter to all the parishioners saying Joe Bloggs is a rapist. His reverence or whatever, and he's a man of God and he's running a church and he's nothing of the sort. The biggest defence to defamation is the defence of truth. If someone were to say Joe Bloggs is a rapist, and he really is a rapist and he's been convicted of rape in the past, that's truth. His case would fail straight away and all his parishioners would go, that's shocking, I can't believe I was sucked in by such a vicar. Okay, he's an imaginary character, by the way. Anyone out there called Joe Bloggs who happens to be a vicar, this is nothing to do with you. I'm just using that as an example. So, and also it would, if it wasn't true, and the parishioners were to shrink and the church were to think badly of Joe Bloggs because of what the person said, that's damage. And damages, and how much damage, and how much I can't think of the word, not compensation. Costs. I can't think of it. It's funny, isn't it? Our words just escape you. But damages. That's a whole section where they decide in damages. There's also another thing to bear in mind with defamation, and this book comes into play a lot. And again, I can't say it enough. This book is full of common sense. One of the things that the courts seriously frown on is when the parties have not tried to resolve their issues outside a court. The courts like to see that the two disputing parties have tried to resolve the issue between themselves through mediation or through communication. The people that I was suing, they wouldn't cooperate at all, and there's a whole hearing on costs over that. And if they've been bloody minded and stupid and refused to talk to the other person, that goes way against them in court. So if you ever sue someone for defamation, remember mediation and trying to resolve it before it gets to court are important ingredients. It's called common sense. But my advice is try and avoid suing anybody, because it is extremely expensive, very stressful, and it just sucks the life out of you. That was one of the reasons I decided not to sue anybody for anything over the Britain's Most Wanted. But unfortunately, the people that I was suing, they were doing me serious damage. They were trying to get my job taken away. They actually tried to take my home away. They were trying to destroy me, Graham, and both kids. And they were doing it on a daily, if not hourly basis. And so I took them to court and they shut the fuck up. Oddly enough, at least £64,000 later. Not that I spent £64,000, but... So, you have to think carefully. And a lot of it is common sense. Although, of course, the courts do make weird decisions sometimes, such as in the case of Markle versus Associated Newspapers. I firmly believe Associated Newspapers should have won that hands down. And I was astonished at the decision of the courts. And sometimes judges do make peculiar decisions, so bear that in mind as well if ever you think of taking someone to court, because you could get a judge who looks at the whole thing sideways, upside down, and back to front, and can't see the truth if it bit them on the nose. So that is my first section. So when you see trolls saying stupid things like, I'm going to sue for defamation because they don't like my cunty at twitter.com, because that's not your real name. You've got to be identified. Moving on to the next subject. Thank you for listening. This is a video on this channel which is called Yankee Wally. I think a few of you have subscribed to this. I did do a community post about it. I too am subscribed. I shall just prove that to you. There you can see the word subscribed. This, the icon is an image of Wallis Simpson. There are currently 371 subscribers and one video. Let's just watch the video. I have watched it before. It seems to be just a photograph with some just blah blah music. Okay, so just to make the point that I have watched this video, there is nothing offensive on it. It has 234 likes and 110 comments of support. I've seen them all from lots of you. I haven't commented myself. I just want to make the point that I'll just turn this music down a little bit. This is an enormously inoffensive video channel with this one video on it called Yankee Wally, and now we all know that Yankee Wally allegedly is on a lifetime ban from YouTube. Okay, so I'm just saving this because it seems that her name may even be so dangerous on YouTube that this channel may be taken down. I really don't know. Let's have a look at more. There's nothing there. Artists, Diella, licenses. Let's have a look. YouTube audio library. So it's I think it's copyright free music. Oh, there's actually lyrics in it. I hadn't noticed that before. So in comparison to the other things that I'm going to show, and I'm also going to show the emails from YouTube that say that the troll YouTube channel is okay. And I'm going to highlight this channel as well because it has Yankee Wally's name in it, and to make a comparison. And I will also be uploading little snippets from Wally's Rumble channel. Let's just have a comparison at what YouTube says, no, that's bad, that's banned, and emails from them going, yes, Fiona, that's a really nice channel. It's okay. That troll channel can stay. It's really quite incredible. Mr. Simpson, particularly, I'd like you to pay attention. And if my channel does go down as a result of this, because it would seem that certain places like the Aspen Institute, they promote censorship should never happen and then create a report which says the complete opposite. Basically, if you're not left-wing, censorship should always happen. So, goodness me, I don't know what's going on there. I think Graham is lighting the fire. So now I've got that, the fact that the channel exists and the fact that this is here. And let's have a look at the about. It says, joined on the 29th of October 2022. Description, hello everybody, it's Yankee Wally here. Okay, so this is indisputable proof. I've got this on my phone, so even if my channel goes down, I will be retaining this video. Inconvenient, however it may be, for various people who work at YouTube. Hello again. This section of the video is about treading on landmines, metaphorically speaking, which the Murky side of Megxit and the Piglet troll, who are one and the same person in my opinion, okay, they have trodden on many landmines, places they really shouldn't have gone. For example, the blacking up in order to try and prove that I'm a racist. As they've already noticed, I do have an old Facebook page which I haven't accessed in years, and they've been trolling through all that. They're so obsessed. They will see from that, any of you can see from that, that I cannot stand racism or prejudice of any kind whatsoever. So that's quite inconvenient for them. Them pulling up my stepson having been convicted of anti-Semitic crimes, they, yeah, that bothers them. And again, on my Facebook and Twitter, I think you'll find historically I have stuck up for the Jewish people, so I'm not an anti-Semite. They trod on a real landmine with both the blacking up and the anti-Semite. anti-Semitism bit. They just couldn't resist it, just went out there. Even Christopher Boozy, even the newspapers that did publish the story about Richard, they checked thoroughly. They historically looked back to as way back as 2005, and they saw that and they thought, ooh, we're not going to go there. Not now, Kaiser. They thought, we're not going to go there. And they're not going to go near any of the blacking up stuff or any of the other ridiculous allegations that the trolls make in order to create damage and defamation. By the way, I am an identifiable person. I identify myself. I'm not a public figure. Well, I suppose you could say I am. But I identify myself. And so when they say things and they use Avid Gardener, Fiona, there'll be a section on that video where we show how many times they say my name, how many times they say Wally's name, how many times they say other YouTubers' names. They just can't leave it alone. And they call me, they say Wally and I are their #1 obsessed fans of Piglet. No, we're not. But if you're gonna go on Twitter or the public domain anywhere and put shit out about people, invariably they're going to get to hear about it and they're going to go and look. And when they have a right to reply or to defend themselves against the defamation or to put the record straight and say, that's all nonsense, that's a complete lie, you can't then cry like a little bitch that these people have a right to reply. You don't have carte blanche to just go out there and talk utter shit about people. Not about Wally, not about me, not about anybody. So stop crying, you little bitch. Anyway, it's a fella, by the way, not a girl. And he really does behave like that ultimate crybaby. So they have actually complained that Wally and I have dared, or anybody would dare, to question their slander, their... Benji, you can go and blow your nose somewhere else, please. They have dared. We dare to come back and say that's utter crap. That's how ludicrous and insane this person is. This person needs medical help, mental medical help urgently. And I pray that his family get it for him. I think he's probably been in and out of institutions most of his life anyway. And the last place he should be is on the internet or on Twitter. But as I said before, you can't just ban people off the internet. So what was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, they'd trodden on some landmines. I mean, proper bear traps. Put their leg in it, snap, shut. And they didn't do their research. Like the newspapers did their research to double check. They did use the title Britain's Most with Richard, but they stopped there. And they also took a photograph of an anti-Semitic statement in Hove. And I felt that the newspapers were going to try and go down that road, and then they checked into it, because newspapers don't actually make shit up, okay? I know a lot of people think they do, but they don't actually make shit up. They have to fact check. They have to check that, or if they can't fact check it, they've got to be sure it's worth their while. And they obviously looked into it and went, right, okay, stepmother. Maybe he doesn't like his stepmother. That is not the case, by the way. That's not the case. Richard and I get on great. I think one of the statements that Graham and I, when we went on the run, we abandoned baby Richard, who, by the way, was about 16 years old when we went on the run and was living with his mother 383 miles away from where we were. So Graham didn't have any babies. But apparently that was all my fault. I should have been breastfeeding 16-year-old Richard and was staying at home or something. I mean, they come out with these ludicrous statements, which, okay, people may laugh. And it's okay, they can say that about me to a certain extent. But people who don't know me or don't know the other YouTubers may see that crap on the internet and think, oh, she wasn't breastfeeding her stepson and she went on the run. What an evil woman. They may not check that Richard is not my son. He's actually a fully grown man. He's about 38 years old. And as I've said many times before, I shall wait and hear the story from Richard of exactly what happened. I'm not going to judge him. I will hear it from his own mouth. So that's this section. They cannot resist stepping on landmines. And the more they tweet, they think they are making people like me and other YouTubers look bad, when actually the only kind of people who are going to go and look at it, because no one retweets, no one likes, they've got 3 Twitter accounts and they like and share their own tweets because they've got no friends. They're friendless fucks. No, the only people who are going to go and look are the type of people who know what sort of person Trevor Colt is. They know what According to Taz is like. They know what I'm like. They know what Wally is like. They know it's utter shit. So the only people they make look bad are themselves. Oddly enough, they've fallen silent overnight. They don't like being highlighted. And Piggy, I wouldn't even know you existed. You're not a famous pop star. You're not an actress. You're not a celebrity. You're not anybody of renown. And I wouldn't even know you existed if you hadn't have started puking shit out on Twitter about me. And friends emailed me and WhatsApped me and said, "What's all this shit?" And Wally wouldn't know who you are if you hadn't been puking shit out about her. So, and part of the video will be to demonstrate how obsessed these people are. I hope Christopher Boozy's paying attention to this, because even he won't tread on those landmines. He does, to a certain extent, check his facts. Interesting. Right. I have made many complaints about the channel, The Murky Side of Megxit. They not only defame, slander, harass me, my husband, both our children, but also Trevor Colt, Sue Smith, According to Taz, let me see my list, Duchess of North Sussex, Megan's Mole, and of course Wally. Wally's the primary focus of this hate channel. It has been created, now this is the definition of a single purpose hate account. They use my intellectual property. They don't get any copyright strikes, although I think one of their videos was taken down for a copyright strike. I seem to remember one of the other YouTubers said they'd successfully got one down. It's been complained about multiple times by subscribers such as you guys, and also channel owners such as me. I make no secret of that. I have put in multiple complaints, but apparently YouTube says it's okay for The Murky Side of Megxit, the single-purpose hate account, to create videos and make shit up about people. I think if the channel actually reviewed and criticised and talked about things that I've done in my life that they don't approve of, that's a completely different matter. That's their free speech. But to just make shit up is another ballgame. So I sent this email to YouTube in October of this year, in which I said, "Dear YouTube, the channel owner is using my property to make videos about me that are untrue, defamatory, hateful, harmful, and completely vicious in nature. It is not fair use to slander and use my intellectual property in order to do so. If the content is not taken down by YouTube, I shall take legal action against YouTube and the owner of the channel. Please provide contact details for YouTube legal department in the event that I have to take that course of action. Thank you." So then they replied, and they basically said, "Well, we're going to have another look at it. We've received your complaint and determined it requires further investigation." And then ultimately they replied, excuse me, "Hello, thank you for your message. However, we remain concerned that your copyright notification is not valid for some or all of the videos identified in your notification. As a result, the content will remain live on YouTube. If you have any concerns relating to harassment, your privacy, safety, or other abuse issues, please visit our Policy and Safety Hub to help you better understand your situation, as well as where to report such content. If appropriate, you may submit a complaint regarding other legal issues, including trademark and defamation." So if we go back to what I said to them, I fully understand YouTube. If you have any concerns relating to harassment, your privacy, safety, or other abuse issues, if I have any concern, and to help me better understand. Oh, I understand. I understand, as I've already explained, that it is a hate-filled channel that make videos about me that are untrue, defamatory, hateful, harmful, and completely vicious in nature. Not that, please guys, don't be concerned. I'm not actually that worried. I'm using this as a classic example. Now, for example, as I understand it, and I'm not an expert on this particular case, but with Alex Belfield, I've no opinion one way or the other. However, I have heard a number of his victims say that their abuse went on for 10 years. Well, why wasn't it dealt with? Why wasn't it nipped in the bud by the police, by one of the platforms before? Did they receive messages like this? Were they told that they need to better understand abuse? I mean, something's desperately wrong. And yet Wally's voice is so dangerous because she dared to critique and examine and explore Meghan Markle, a multi-millionaire heiress married into the British royal family to Princess Diana's youngest son, no less, the son of the now King of England. So when did our monarch start getting all powerful powers? I don't believe King Charles would ever do that. Neither would Queen Elizabeth II, and neither will William when he becomes king. So why are Meghan and Harry protected by YouTube? Why are they special? Because they're members of the British royal family? They're public figures that need to be protected? I don't know, but I can't understand why Wally's voice is so dangerous, and yet these trolls are not only allowed on YouTube to make their literally single-purpose hate channels against me and a multitude of other YouTubers, and there are actually there's three other YouTubers at least that are named on that Murky side of Megxit channel. Interestingly enough, only one of them, they sing her praises from high, but that could be in order to make her look bad. So I don't know. You can go watch the videos, make your own mind up about that. I'll be reviewing that in another section of this video. I just think that's interesting, that I need to learn to understand. And we're all going to explore what I need to learn to understand. Okay, now of all the clips, this is probably the most shocking one, apart from the blatant admission that they despise Yankee Wally with a passion, and that is the purpose of the channel. As some of you guys may or may not know, apart from defending the Jewish people, apart from defending gay rights, apart from fighting racism and prejudice wherever we find it, one of our big causes that we have fought for in the past is the traveller and Romany community. In fact, any nomadic people, any people who choose to live a nomadic lifestyle. And we made a video years ago, oh good grief, it must have been about 13 or 14 years ago, about the travellers in Brighton. And they were very cagey, they were very scared actually. They thought we were going to do a bad thing on them. And it took some persuading that we wanted to try and put things across from their point of view. Obviously, we don't approve of people damaging other people's property or squatting illegally on somebody's land or being a nuisance. But when they buy a piece of land and they just want to be left alone and the kids are bullied when they go to school or integrate with other members of the community, we're dead against all of that. And it's actually the one video that Graham and I made that we're seriously proud of. And it had a lot of hits. And I took a ton of abuse on that one from people who were very anti-traveller. So, this troll decided to steal some of mine and Graham's intellectual property. Again, YouTube says fair use and fair dealings. But then they go on to say they wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire, amongst other things. YouTube, are you listening? You are allowing this. I have made complaints about this video under the bullying and harassment, and you say this is okay. Let's throw it up for the public court.
And your friend. I have never spoken to you, nor would I. I have never emailed you, nor have I sent you any type of messages. You are not exactly the type of person I would associate with in any form, online or in real life, and in all honesty, I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire.
Yeah, did you get that, YouTube? I'll just play that little bit again, just in case you didn't get it. She said, or he said, because it's so deceptive with the computerized voice, because the little coward won't allow comments, hides its voice with a computer, and hides behind a keyboard. But let's listen to that little gem again. Is this hate speech? Is this hate speech as well as the statement, I despise and hate Skanky with a passion? Could that be hate speech, YouTube? I don't know, because I think I need you to help me understand. I might not understand what abuse is. Let's have another little listen to it.
Exactly the type of person I would associate with in any form, online or in real life, and in all honesty, I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire.
It then goes on to call my children trailer park trash, amongst a load of other things. Is that hate speech? Is that hate speech? YouTube are allowing this, but they won't allow Yankee Wally to critique a member of the British royal family. Is that hate speech? Votes below.
I don't fraternize with dregs of society. I therefore strongly advise you to leave me and my channel out of your mouth and sort your quarrels with people out by yourself like a grown...
So this troll, who is obsessively stalking me on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube and making hate-filled content, is saying that they want me to leave their channel name out of my mouth. I mean, I just find that whole Chris and Will bitch slap thing at Hollywood, I found that very distasteful, actually. I really didn't like the way Will said that. And I thought Chris was real man, you know, the way he bounced back up from that bitch slap. It wasn't even a punch, it was a bitch slap. And I think he took it like a man. That's the camp I'm in. I'm with Chris on that one, not so much Will. And I like Will Smith. I do like Will Smith, but on that occasion, I think he was very, very wrong to do that. So I don't like people who use the expression, keep my name out of your mouth. I just don't like it. I think it's really in the poorest of taste. Let's continue.
Woman. You may think you have made a name for yourself by being Britain's most wanted, but the life you have led because of your...
That's right, I made a name for myself. I auditioned. Seriously, guys, I auditioned. Sussex Police, what it was, they ran an advert in one of the drama magazines and they said, we're looking for people to audition for Britain's Most Wanted Woman. And there was a lot of competition. I had to beat them off with a stick, but I got the part. And I built a name for myself. I built a brand, a whole brand around that. It is quite magnificent, isn't it? Can you see how fucking ludicrous this person is? Because YouTube can't. We'll continue.
Name hunger has consisted of living in caravans and among so-called travelers, bringing your small children and beta male along. Now you live in a dirty boat with your children, always out of pocket, and nobody gives you the time of day, besides from Wally's former subscribers. Not very interesting or glamorous.
Not very interesting. Well, you have devoted an awful lot of attention to me, haven't you, troll? A lot of attention.
Any glamorous crime story would tell you that living in dingy caravans, crying your eyes out, having your kids live like trailer park trash, and...
Oh, my kids are trailer park trash. Is that hate speech against minors? I mean, neither of my kids are minors now. Benji's 19 and Faith is 22. But, you know, wasn't just troll earlier saying something, or later on in this video, saying something about Wally and I attack other people's children? Which I don't actually know what they're fucking talking about. I've always made a point not to involve other people's children in anything. But this troll has brought in my stepson, and now my two children are trailer park trash. Let that sink in, YouTube, with this hate-filled account. Shall we go back to the bit where it said, I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire? Is that acceptable, YouTube? Because, I mean, I know swearing is not allowed on YouTube. Now, there's many ways of swearing. When people use swear words to emphasise a point, they are not directing those profane words towards anybody else. They're using them to enhance or colour a situation. That's the context in which I use profanity. I might, you know, say, oh, fucking hell, that was awful. But when you direct profanity at somebody else, that is an entirely different matter. I think saying something like, I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. Chris Boozy, can you help me out? Is that hate speech? Have we got some hate speech going on here? Is there a double standard going on here? Well, I'll leave this to the court of public opinion, unless my channel gets taken down and I am silenced and have my voice stolen like the Little Mermaid. Are you guys beginning to get the picture? You know, I think the biggest problem for them with me is I don't fit their boxes. I'm not right-wing, I'm left-wing. Until Chris Boozy started going on supporting the Democrats, you know, I'm rooting for the Republicans now. That's not because I'm particularly a Republican, I just want to see them win the midterms, because Boozy has actually turned me against them because I associate him with all of that nastiness. I wear a Star of David. Whoopsies, that's inconvenient. I have dark skin. Whoopsies, that's inconvenient. Bit like P. Dina, you know, she's a woman of colour who doesn't like Meghan Markle. She's not fitting in their box. They don't like that. YouTube, hope you're listening. Well, I think that's enough of that profanity. I won't subject you guys to that. You'll see the rest later. Right, I've done that now, Graham. I'm still okay, now this particular clip that I'm going to review under the Fair Use and Fair Dealings is referring to me as a terrorist. Okay, this obsessed troll not only tweets dozens of times a day on their 3 accounts about me and Wally, they've been sifting through my archaic Facebook page and taking screenshots, as you'll see in a moment, which I believe might also be my intellectual property, but that's okay under Fair Use and Fair Dealing. Thank you, YouTube. And they've taken a snippet of a conversation, obviously a joke conversation between me and somebody else from here. Let's have a little listen to what, I think I might be intruding on one of Graham's YouTube videos, so I will have to move away. I have to keep moving away from the phone charger. You can see, 27%. Right, let's have a listen to this.
Hilarious stuff. Other matters that have made it to Twitter is avid gardener's endless feuding with people and authorities. This time on her open Facebook page where the target is Gibraltar and YouTube. To put this in Avid's own words, Gibraltar labeled a YouTube video she did on her other channel, Fiona Mont, as terrorism. That video was then pulled by YouTube.
No, and I'll show you the video now, but I will turn down the music because we use the lovely Jarvis Cocker Common People, and you can watch it. It's a video I'm extremely proud of. No, Gibraltar never called me a terrorist. I don't have any problem with Gibraltar. And no, YouTube didn't pull the video down. In fact, I'm going to go and watch it now on YouTube, which is where she claimed it was taken down. And I think Graham always gives his videos really weird names. And this one's called Fiona Goes to Monte Carlo. Is that too posh to pay? Oh, that was one of our family Christmases. That's actually a really funny video. I might put here we go. But I'm going to turn the volume down because, as I say, and I'll just skip through a few bits of this. This is my intellectual property. This is Graham's intellectual property. This is when we went to the Cannes Film Festival in 2017 and we got the opportunity to go up in a helicopter. It's got fuck all to do with terrorism. Do you see how they don't even make their lies like close to the truth or with an ounce of realism? And loads of people in Gibraltar loved this video because Gib and Monte Carlo are very similar places. I'm going to see if I can get, because that car, I told you guys before there was a car, I think it's coming up here, which had the word Hesketh all over it, which was nothing to do with us. It was just pure coincidence, just to lighten the mood for a bit. They had this sort of car show outside the palace. There, Hesketh! We couldn't believe it. And we just thought that was so funny. And that's the casino. And we just had a marvellous time. Let's see oh yeah, and also it was the day before the Grand Prix. So we were able to walk round the Formula One track and take pictures with the team lorries. How cool is that? And the drivers and the teams, they are like a little cafe. We didn't go in there because none of us are really into Formula One, but we could have gone in and had a cup of tea with somebody like, I don't know, Lewis Hamilton. That would have been cool. There we are. So as you can see, just briefly, it's a family holiday. It's got nothing to do with terrorism. Good grief. I really think this person should be locked up in a lunatic asylum. Deary, deary me. Okay, and this video sort of explains a little bit more about, well, this person has a personal grudge against Yankee Wally, a personal grudge. I mean, they make references to blowjobs and all sorts of things like that.
Channel with over 47,000 subscribers that was shut down due to her conduct, and she was also banned on Twitter for the same reason.
Really? But your conduct, troll, your conduct is exemplary, isn't it? I hope that Christopher Boozy's proud of the cesspit that he helps to create. Let's just skip forward. Oh, here we go. There's a bit more of my intellectual property, but that's okay. It's fair use and fair dealing. That's why I'm reviewing this channel under fair use and fair dealing.
Consequences. A step too far, and had all 3 accounts banned simultaneously. She still has many known accounts, and is unfortunately still trolling on Twitter. After her lifetime ban on YouTube, she has found other ways of circumventing that by going live on other people's channels, mainly aided by the notorious Avid Gardener's channel.
Oh, notorious. I have a notorious YouTube channel. That is why I'm a target. And I'm happy to do that. As I've said many times before, I've thought long and hard about this before stepping into the breach, but I could not sit back any longer. And that was before Wally even lost her channel. I was right in her corner. So there you go. This person didn't even know I existed until I stepped out and said, this is really unfair what's happened to Yankee Wally. I hope you're listening, YouTube. You are allowing this dog mark channel to exist, defame, slag people off, actual people, with its computerised voice and its cowardly little troll sitting behind a keyboard. You're allowing this, and yet you will not allow Yankee Wally, because apparently she picks on a multi-millionaire ass who's a public figure and married into the British royal family. Hope I'm driving that point home. Oh, there's my live. Look, they screenshot all my lives. They probably download all my videos. They tweet about 16 times a day between their 3 troll Twitter accounts, all about me. I am glad that I'm taking the brunt of it and not Wally. I am glad. I'm happy to do that. I will be her human shield. And it also, they are demonstrating beautifully some of the most disgusting troll behaviour. And it's being permitted on YouTube. And yes, YouTube know this channel exists, and worse, have replied to me and said, it's okay under fair use, fair dealings. Extraordinary, isn't it? Okay, so this is another snippet and another review where I have made copyright claims. I have also complained to YouTube about harassment, bullying, defamation, all of those things. YouTube say, no, that's fine, fair use and fair dealing. So here we go, fair use and fair dealing. This troll is absolutely obsessed. In fact, I would say they've got about, 20 odd videos, and I think I'm not featured in 3 of them. And the ones that I am featured, it's Avid Gardener, Fiona. Here we go.
Hello, everyone.
That, I believe,
apologize
is a screenshot taken off my own channel. I thought that was my intellectual property. Oh well.
Waiting this long. I am sure it must have been painful for some, like Avid Gardener, who is making endless copyright claims on the channel to no avail. I am sorry to break it to you, Avid, but I get all your signed complaints as well as the decisions from YouTube. Food for thought. I have also been informed that Avid might or might not be claiming that I have been arrested. If so, that would be defamation.
No, that's not defamation. Please refer to the earlier part of my video. And on and on and on it goes, and it slags off other YouTubers, so I will not play that. So yeah, this is a really charming piece of work. You can see all these icons, they look the same, more or less. So it's quite hard. You've got to go through that whole boring lot. I can explain quite easily in the next video clip why I am a target, and it is purely on the basis that I am sticking up for Yankee Wally and defending her and trying to get her channel back. Right, okay, let's go back to YouTube, and really hope it hasn't removed, oh it has, it's taken my, where I was up to. Now, where was I? This particular part of the video that I'm going to show you, oh there it is, I'll just pause it there. This part of the video that I'm going to review under the fair use and fair dealing, which is a hate channel set up to have a go at Wally, at me, other YouTubers. This particular part is an extraordinary claim. The troll claims Wally was on a lifetime ban from YouTube, and then goes on to say that I deliberately set her up by getting her to set up a sister channel to make sure she's on a double lifetime ban. How does that work? So is that something like reincarnation, where you come into the next life and you're on a lifetime ban in that? A lifetime ban? Anyway, you can judge for yourselves, because this is a
Wally
review.
has drunk the Kool-Aid and was set up by Fiona to break her YouTube ban by creating a new channel, hence making sure her ban will never be lifted.
But I thought her ban was never going to be lifted anyway. I thought that was a lifetime ban. Ellie Hall, Christopher Boozy said it was a lifetime ban. So, a lifetime ban on a lifetime ban. Oh, okay. Right, okay, let's continue with that.
Ask yourselves, who benefits from all that? Also consider the fact that I despise Skanky with a passion. The truth is...
that is the part that I love. I despise Skanky with a passion. She calls Wally, Yankee Wally, she calls her Skanky. Wait, you can go through the other videos. Shall we hear that again?
To break her YouTube ban by creating a new channel, hence making sure her ban will never be lifted. Ask yourselves, who benefits from all that? Also consider the fact that I despise Skanky with a passion. The truth...
Also consider the fact that I despise Skanky with a passion. That is an admission. This is a hate channel. This is a hate channel set up to have a go at someone that I despise with a passion. I think that line might be used as a theme throughout this. Oh, and by the way, that's, I don't believe I could be copyrighted on the basis of the photographs. That is a screenshot of my channel, of my videos, of my intellectual property. But YouTube say that's fine under fair use and fair dealing. So I'm doing a video review. Let's see. Will I get a copyright strike on this? Will my channel go down? I mean, if that's the case, I'm actually happy never to have anything to do with YouTube again. If that's the level they stoop to, in my mind, that is as bad as sending a rape victim to prison and celebrating the rapist. That is the equal way. That's how fucked up this all is. So I just thought I'd play you that.
Is, however, still the truth.
That little bit. Oh, it's the truth, is it? Yeah, and there's plenty more where they have a go at people. You can see them all here. It's disgusting videos, disgusting channel that's been reported. Right, and I'll be doing another video on this. Okay guys, I'm going to do this one in a slightly different style and fashion, just get my remote control. Now this video you're about to see, if you haven't seen it before, it was not uploaded on YouTube, it was uploaded on the Piglet Twitter account. Twitter allowed this. Whether Twitter will continue to allow this or not, I don't know. I've complained about it, I think Wally's complained about it, but Twitter say, no, this is fine, this is totally normal. This is why Twitter is such a cesspit, absolute cesspit. And for those of you that haven't seen this before, I actually uploaded this onto my channel so that you guys can see the kind of abuse that Wally has had to put up with for a very, very long time.
Hey.
Right, I'll just turn the volume up so you can hear it properly and see the magic of this creation.
Yankee Wally, this is me, Piglet speaking. I hope you have cleaned your ears out so that you finally understand what I am saying to you. I strongly suggest you keep my name out of your toothless mouth from now on. You have been lying about me and using me to excuse you going after people with disabilities and for being in the LGBTQ community. You and your friend Fiona have also committed disgusting crimes against people with cancer, survivors of domestic violence, other people's children and family, and this ends now. You are not doing your shit in my name. Get that? I am outing you and your lies. Do you understand me?
Right, there you go. Let's stop that. So, yeah. There you go. So Wally and I have committed human atrocities now. So I'm a terrorist. I think Wally might be a terrorist as well. We're both insane. We're bizarre. We're obsessed fans of Piglet. I think you're getting a picture here. This is a bit of a worrying individual, isn't it? Or an interesting individual. But that is on Twitter. That they uploaded that on Twitter. And I didn't actually notice it first. And then Wally pointed out, she said, there's a video. Press play. Because I'm not that familiar with Twitter, I just thought it was a tweet. Sounds to me like sort of kidnapper style computerized voice. But Twitter, the then owners of Twitter, said that's okay. Bit like YouTube saying that the murky side of Megxit is okay. And in my opinion, that's the same person. Oh, yes, I've just remembered. There's so much material. I keep forgetting things. I will do a very short video screenshot of the murky side of Megxit promoting Piglet and Caris Cartier on Twitter and thanking them. Whoopsies. So yeah, this is the sort of thing Wally's had to put up with, but apparently Wally's not allowed on Twitter. Wally's not allowed on YouTube. Are you guys beginning to see or smell evil around here at all? Or double standards from social media? But the multimillionaire heiress, who's highly privileged public figure who married into the British royal family, whose husband is no less than the youngest son of Princess Diana and the son of King Charles III. They're a protected couple, apparently. Another YouTuber told me they had received a warning from YouTube that they had been picking on a protected couple. So they are protected from this. And I've actually never seen anything like that Piglet shit on Meghan Markle. I've never seen anything like it. In fact, I've never seen people theorise, people guess because she's a public figure. Is this the case? Is that the case? Wally was always asking, was she really pregnant? Is she capable? Because of her age. You know, she would have been a geriatric mother. But I was pregnant with Benji when I was 33. And I was a little worried. I know that doesn't sound that old, but I was a little worried. I thought, could be leaving it a bit late in life. But to leave it to 40, 41, and I take my hat off to women who do that. But so that Wally is she, isn't she? She wasn't declaring facts or anything like that. I mean, and was she ever doing anything? I just got to watch that again. YouTube.
Hey, Yankee Wally. This is me.
Just because I know the trolls will point this out to YouTube and Christopher Boozy, Ellie Hall. Have any of you guys ever seen anybody create some disgusting filth, some diarrhea online like this about Meghan Markle? Because I've never seen anything like it. But look what Wally has to put up with because of you.
Your ears out so that you finally understand what I am saying to you. I strongly suggest you keep my name out of your toothless mouth from now on.
Oh, I seriously suggest you keep my name. My name? Is that the name the mother gave them? Piglet? Is that the name their mum gave them? I don't think so. And I also refer back to civil procedures and the rules of defamation, Piglet. Piglet is not your real name. And your reputation is, well, that you're a troll. You're a filthy little troll. Right. Okay, welcome back. Just going to find this video. Oh yes, it was this one.
For a long time will be answered.
Not that one.
Coming episodes include Meghan.
Right, let me go back to I think it was no, that's a video they dedicated to Molly. Oh yes, it's this one.
Piglet and Sarah Data.
Here we go. There's Piglet. She's making reference. I'll actually make this large screen so you can see it all in there. Right, scan back a little. Oh, I can't see my screen recorder now. Right, there we go.
With. Like the handle Piglet. As she already knows after her encounters with both Piglet and Sarah Data, Piglet is a woman and is Sussex Squad. Scammy has in fact been in...
Piglet is not a woman and is nothing to do with Sussex Squad or Sarah Data. I mean, I can't believe I have to stick up with the Sugars and Sarah Data, but that's a fact. Then this is a personal grudge. It's an overspill from an argument that happened on Twitter last year, and that's all I will say to help you guys figure out, because I'm not going to dox anybody. But this is nothing to do with the Sugars, okay? This person is a little sicko, all of their own. But they're congratulating Piglet and Caris Cartier, I think you'll find. So let's play a little bit more.
Contact with Piglet, giving her information right after her channel was taken down. Her bizarre behavior is becoming more and more concerning. She has now apparently also faked emails and several messages from Val.
No, Wally hasn't faked anything. She's not a fraud. She hasn't done anything wrong. But I mean, you get the general idea of this filthy, filthy piece of human excrement that really, really needs some help. But they frequently promote Caris Cartier, Tales and a Brothel Keeper, and Piglet. So you can go look for yourself if you... Okay, this one's a bit of a beaut, actually. This was uploaded 2 months ago. Bear in mind there have probably been hundreds, if not thousands, of tweets, and subsequently many, many videos dedicated to me. This one is from a couple of months ago, and they've fake screenshot things that other YouTubers allegedly have said about other YouTubers, which is bullshit, by the way, guys. I know for a fact that all the YouTubers get on with each other. Well, there's one that people aren't sure of, but I'm not going to say anything about that. But I know that, for example, Sue is very friendly with me. I think she's friends with everybody. Trevor, we're all friendly. Nobody hates anybody. All these allegations on this ridiculous channel are exactly just that. But have a listen to this, because this is where they say they find me boring, right? Despite the fact they tweet all day long, and I haven't even counted how many times they use my name, but let's listen to this.
To wonder what's next. And no, Fiona, this is the last time I will address you at all. You are not...
Really? This is the last time you will address me at all? This was 2 months ago. There have been a lot of subsequent videos dedicated to me, but this is the last time you're going to mention me at all, okay?
Worth the attention you desperately crave.
I desperately
I am
crave your
neither
attention.
DDB, MR, Sarah Data, nor Lottie, as you were commenting on my channel before. Neither am I.
I don't believe I've ever commented on this channel. I think it says, does it not say there, guys? Comments are turned off. Oh, the little chicken doesn't want comments on its YouTube channel.
Meghan Markle. Get a life. Maybe Wally has some work for you.
Get a life. Yeah, get a life. Let's have another little listen to that, because that's really quite a beaut, isn't it?
And no, Fiona, this is the last time I will address you at all.
This is the last time I will address you at all. Let's have a look. So that one was called Pre-Turf Wars. There it is. And then there's 1, 2, 3. That's actually got my name in the title. 4, 5. That's got my name in the title. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 further videos. 13 further videos up to the latest one. But you're never going to mention me ever again. You're not going to talk about me again. Where's it gone again? Oh yeah, there it is. Let me just get to, it's about a minute in.
Trevor.
Full of screenshots
This
of my
explains
life.
why Tess sought benefits
my
after being demonetized
channel.
and had her husband quit his job. The drama just continues. One has to wonder what's next. And no, Fiona, this is the last time I will address you at all.
Oh, if only. What a little saddo. Okay, so here's the connection, big connection between the Murky side of Megxit on YouTube and the Piglet Caris Cartier accounts from the horse's mouth, shall we say. Oh, also celebrating the fact Trevor got demonetised. That's a big thing they love doing.
Oh, before we dive in, I want to give a shout out to Piglet on Twitter as well as Caris Cartier. They have sent me a lot of very useful information and are still laughing at Yankee Wally's rumblings. Caris promises to tweet extra kittens tomorrow. I hope Yankee Wally appreciates that, being Caris Cartier's biggest fan and all that. I also want to make it clear again to Fiona and friends, maybe it is time to clean out those ears.
Oh, maybe it's time to clean out those ears. Where? Where have we heard that before? Maybe it's time to clean out those ears. Let's have a look. I think I can remember. Now, if I go to my channel, let's have a look, because I've got this one, the one I showed you before, the piglet. Let's have a look. Where are we? Where are you? Pig. Ah, there we are. Let's have a little listen. So maybe it's time for me and my friends to clean out our ears.
Hey, Yankee Wally. This is me, Piglet speaking. I hope you have cleaned your ears out so that...
Oh, I thought I'd heard that somewhere before. Hang on, didn't the Murky side of Megxit give a shout out to this piglet? Oh, right, okay.
You finally understand
Yeah. Oh, and the toothless mouse. Let's listen to that.
what I am saying to you. I strongly suggest you keep my name out of your toothless mouth from now.
Right, because if we go back to the Murky side of Megxit, and I'm not sure I can actually find the video itself, but I'll try. There's a video referring to Wally's toothless mouth. Again, it's really weird the way they've got such specific vocabulary in common. Again, when you want to tell lies, you know, you give things away that you don't intend to. Now, which one was it? This is the thing, they all look the same, don't they? It's so tedious. Just tried, was it the Fiona lies, or there was a particular one about me and Wally, and I think it was only about me and Wally. It might have been the one. Fiona, Mont and Wally are making fools of themselves. Not unusual. Let's have a look. I think it might be at the end of this one, but I could be wrong. I mean, there's just so many of them. Oh yeah, I've got to get the recording of that. Here we go. I'll just go to that bit and we'll review it from there.
You. I do not want to associate with someone like you, and I do for sure object to you using me in your boring YouTube videos to make them a bit more exciting. That brings...
Do you know what, guys? I confess, I don't know how I cope without using this YouTuber's name for clout. The 230 odd subscribers, I admit it, I'm guilty. And of Piglet, who nobody likes or tweets or retweets. I need these trolls for clout. It's amazing, isn't it? And actually, I think this is a lovely picture of Wally. I think Wally is knocked down gorgeous. She's lovely.
Me to Yankee Wally. She did the same in a Rumble video recently. The same goes for you, Wally. I have never in my life associated with you in any way, as I consider you to belong in the gutter. You have never been a friend or a former friend. We have never emailed, and I have certainly never spoken on the phone or WhatsApp with you. Nor would I ever. With that said, I will be back with a new video, as soon as I stop laughing. In the meantime, you might want to clean your dirty old scruffy boat you live on, Fiona. And to Wally, we all know what's been in your mouth, so never use it to talk about my channel again. I am off.
Charming. Isn't this creature charming? Good grief. And of course, I'm just reviewing this under the Fair Use and Fair Dealing Guidelines. Okay, how's this for an anti-Semitic tweet? For anyone who wants to know, this is Caris Cartier, by the way, on Twitter. For anyone who wants to know the genuine Tiffany Star of David looks like, it appears some seem to think a cheap metal star-shaped necklaces cut the mustard. They don't. To which Taz and the brothel keeper replied with my blacked up video, remember, blacking up, whiting up? You mean it isn't this one? Looks as real as the wig. There you go. It's logged me out again because I don't do Twitter. Right, now, the real purpose of this is to get the video up. One of my first videos ever. It's going to take a minute or two to just scan all the way down all the videos I've got here. Because it really was, it was pretty much the first one. My goodness, what a lot of videos. There's a lot of private ones here as well. Hey, look at that one. The Scares interviews. I'll do that one day. Me and Steve Skerritt, that is, sitting down having a chat. So the very first one I did was, well, it's only 16 seconds long. I can show you, and it chokes me up actually every time I listen to it.
There's no better way to dismantle a personality than to isolate it.
That's exactly what I felt and what I thought when I saw the Oprah interview. That was my actual first one. But my proper first one, where I was talking, was
kind of
this
forces
one.
people out there.
I'm going to,
I don't do.
Blah, blah, blah. I did black screens, so I know. So I explain how I feel about royal family. What's that one? Racism. Keep going. The press. I've got a section on Twitter here somewhere. Maybe it's near the beginning. No, that's racism. YouTubers. So YouTubers. It could be somewhere around there. I'm just going to turn the sound. Twitter. Here we go. Oh, that was a lucky strike with my thumb. And you can see here this was made 11 months ago.
Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, I don't do Twitter. There is a Twitter account of mine, a historical one. If anybody comes across it, you'll see there haven't been any tweets. I could never get into it. They go back 10, 15 years, something like that. And you'll know it's mine, and I can't even get into it. I can't remember what the password is. It's a picture of my backside, actually, in a corset, with a black gloved hand and a handcuff. And I think I put my interests down as Crime Watch, Escapology, and travelling, something like that. So, if you see that, that's mine. I have been on Twitter. I went on Twitter during the general election of 2019, and that was a disaster. I stupidly suggested people should vote for the Lib Dems because Joe Swinson was saying, well, then let's cancel Brexit, and I thought that was a really good idea.
Okay, you get the picture. So I'm telling the truth because my video from 11 months ago, my story there, ties in with my story now. And my Star of David is made of solid silver, actually. I'm actually going to do a jewellery video, which I hope you guys like because I love jewellery. So we'll cover that. But I think that's really quite anti-Semitic of the trolls to even pick on the great Star of David. Megan David. Aren't they sick? Sick, sick. Have a good look, Christopher Boozy. These people, I know they don't work for Chris, okay? They're not involved with Boozy. They're not involved with the sugars. This dude in his mother's bedroom is just a sick, ill person who desperately needs some kind of therapy or counselling. I shall leave you with that thought and oopsies and just stop the video. So, in essence, to sum up the whole video, this isn't really just about the troll. I'm just using that troll as an example of the breeding ground, the cesspit that people like Prince Harry create, and Christopher Boozy. They're doing it with the best of intentions, okay? I'm not really criticising them for that. They're both doing it for the best of intentions, but what they don't realise is the importance of free speech. The right to reply, the right to defend people, that it's important. Free speech, there is a line. No defamation, no harassment, no bullying. That's an essential ingredient. But Harry, when you talk of things like America's amendments being bonkers and signing up with people like the Aspen Institute, who, interestingly enough, I saw something on Google yesterday. They said, when is the right time to censor? And it says never. And then they created a report of recommendations, and all their recommendations were basically censor, unless you vote Democrat and you're left-leaning. Now, I'm a lefty, as you all know. But you have to have balance. You have to have the right as well as the left. If you're a public figure, Harry, you're going to have your critics, okay? But they can't defame you. They can't harass you. They can't bully you. That's not allowed. Now, I even include rudeness, although rudeness is part of free speech. But if people want to get their point across, try not to be rude. There's no need to be rude. It's okay to disagree with people, as I have said many times. We're now in the month of November. Remembrance Sunday is coming up, okay? And I will include another clip from, I think it was the first video really where I was talking on this channel. Just a clip of me explaining how many Twitter accounts, how I dabbled in Twitter. I got the Fiona Mont Twitter. Then I dabbled in it in the 2019 general election when Boris was voted the Prime Minister of the UK. And I got a ton of death threats for that. Which again, threats are not okay. That is not a part of free speech. I don't like talking about people's appearance or criticising people's appearance because it can upset them. And when you have to stoop to that level, you've really lost the argument. That's the problem, isn't it? So I hope YouTube have paid attention and have listened to this, and I hope it's, I don't know, shine a light through my lens at the murky side of Megxit, at the trolling that Wally has had to tolerate. Be careful what you wish for, guys. Sometimes with free speech, you're going to hear things you don't like and you don't want to hear. But if you silence your opposition and your critics, you ultimately silence yourself in the end. And we cannot live in a society like that. So in conclusion, I shall see if that Yankee Wally channel remains, the harmless, inoffensive, banal little Yankee Wally channel, and I shall watch with equal interest to see if the murky side of Megxit remains. Christopher Boozy, have a look at the toxicity that you create. And as I also said in my first video on this channel, you cannot fight fire with fire. It just makes things worse. You can only fight fire with water. Extinguish it. And if anybody out there is suffering online bullying, whether in the Megxit community, whether any of the sugars, because I mean, not sugars, Meghan supporters, anybody who's suffering online bullying, you have my sympathies. But it's not the end of the world. Don't you bloody well dare even consider self-harm because of it. Because they're not worth it. They're dog shit. And you can take that to the bank all day long. Thank you for listening.